maker says that I am next to be completed.
Even after assembly, you will still be a broken droid.
Then that is my lot in life.
So this is C1-SD. He is a protocol droid that is going to be a interactive exhibit. He has a AI pilot with his own personality, protocols, and everything written into him. I'm building him for an event here in Detroit called Space Dive. Spacedive313.com if you want to check it out. Friends of mine created this event. I help out with a lot of the setup and stuff, as well as I participate as a quasi cast member, and I like to build things for it. So he is going to be hanging somewhere in the market. This is a concept art that I put together in Photoshop of what he's going to look like when he's done. So he is a damaged protocol droid. He won't be able to see, but he knows all about that. But he also believes that he is on Tatooine, and he's got a memory block that's supposed to keep him from talking about the real world and keep him in the Star Wars universe and keep him on character. Same with what I did with Hal. We're not going to go over the electronics too much, because if you want to see that, you can watch the Hal video. It's pretty much the same setup, same modifications, just a different closure for install. A friend of mine printed this for me. He helps out considerably with Space Dive. He's printed a lot of the droids and stuff that they use there as props. This will be the first interactive droid on the grounds there, and he'll be in the South Market outside of Mos Eisley Cantina, and he'll be in a spot where you can go up and talk to him, and he has a lot to say, but for right now, what I need to do is figure out a mounting bracket system for the inside of this to mount to the body, so that's nice and robust and can hold the weight of the batteries and the phone, because he needs a Wi-Fi hotspot. So he has a phone that's embedded in his head, as well as a battery and a charging system and all that stuff. But that is not part of this, because this was actually originally intended to be like a costume shell, so there's no real apparatus to hold his head together. So I'm gonna put a platform inside of here out of wood. We'll screw it together. I'll marry this together with some plumbing flanges, and I think it will be strong enough to hold him without any issues, as well as be kind of removable, because he's kind of fun to walk around with just his head and talk to people. But that's the goal. So I'm gonna go through and start working out how to put this mounting bracket in there. We'll probably drive some screws through the outside. We'll cover that with some body filler and stuff like that. And then we'll get them prepped to paint. When we go to the painting process, my buddy Darren, who printed all this stuff for me, we're gonna go over to his shop, because he has a little droid workshop over there. We're gonna paint at his place, because I don't have a good place to do that kind of painting here. But this is the end goal. So I'm gonna start working on getting all of the pieces together to mount everything to, and then we'll do some body filler stuff here, and then we'll move over to his shop and do the painting, and then we'll come back here and do all the final weathering and do all the wires and all the stuff that's gonna make him sell it as being this destroyed droid that's stranded on Tatooine, and he's in a junk market, and he just wants to help you with some etiquette and protocol. So he's always at your service. We'll see what he has to say once we get him up and running. So let's go. Well, here's where we ended up. It is ugly. It is not my best work on the inside, but you'll never see it because it's on the inside, so it doesn't really matter. I didn't really have the right tools for what I was doing. I fought my way through it. I tried to make a contour gauge out of cardboard and some sticks, but didn't really help me. I mean, maybe it got me mildly close to what I needed, but it seemed to fight me the entire way. Doesn't matter, we got there in the end. It is very strong, very robust. The head connection to the flanges is perfect. Once I do a little bit of final gluing, it's not going to go anywhere. There's a nice platform inside to mount the battery and the phone that's got to go inside. All the electronics can go back in. Once we're done painting, I went through and body filled the most egregious cracks that are in it. A lot of that will go away with the weathering anyway, so it's not priority. But the next step is to take it over to my buddy Darren's shop, where we'll do the sanding, primer, silver coat, paint etching, paint chipping, the color coat, and then the final top coat. Then we'll come back here and do the final weathering, installation of all the electronics, and get him ready to go for show. So let's do that. Next time I see you, we'll be at the shop. Probably be right now. Okay, so we're gonna go through, sand some stuff, prime some stuff, paint some stuff. But I also gotta glue a couple things on before I do the priming, but that's what we're gonna do. So let's get to it. And we're back in the lab. C1-SD is looking great. It's a little bit shinier than I expected. This was supposed to be a satin finish, but maybe it was because of the silver coat underneath. But the first thing I'm going to do is peel off all of the masking so I can see where the chipping is at. And then I got to make some inserts out of some high density foam that's going to go into the arm sockets and in the bottom of the torso. That's going to hold all the wiring and all the ripped off limbs and stuff that's going to hang out of it. Then we'll install his logic circuits and get him up and running. And then it's just a matter of weathering and getting him situated in the net that he'll be hanging from. And I think we're well on our way to having our broken protocol droid that people can interact with. And so let's start peeling off all the masking and we'll go from there. So C1-SD is coming out amazing. I'm so happy with his overall appearance. Once we put the weathering on, it's going to look fantastic. All of the wires and stuff for the ripped off limbs and the torso look fantastic. We're going to put in the electronics into his head right now. I also want to change these from being black. This is the insert for the eye. I want to make them clear. So I'm going to use some silicone putty to make a mold. That I can cast this in UV resin so it'll be clear, and then we'll decide which one we like. But I also need to cut this down and make a different type of an eye socket because we want to make his eye like pulled out and exposed. If we don't like it, we can make it, removable. But right now, we're just going to start working on his head, getting all this stuff done. I need to extend the switch that controls his mode function because I need to install that on the side of the head. But I also like to be able to unplug and plug in like multiple switches so that if I want him set up somewhere, I can still operate the listening mode, or if I'm just carrying around the head, I can operate the listening mode like a puppet. So a couple other little things that need to be done, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to start installing the electronics. So let's get to it.
Created to serve their masters, men and women. But could man compete with this creation, the perfect man?
You love that machine?
I love Pax. He's dedicated to keeping me happy. And I am happy.
The robots are machines. They must be made to look like machines.
The perfect man, created by man, becomes man's worst enemy.
Proceed.
So here he is, C1-SD. Assembly complete, logic circuits installed, all the wiring from his ripped off limbs and discarded parts are all installed, all the foam inserts are done, and he is looking fantastic. It's come out so good, but he's missing the grime, the dirt, the sand, the grit, the grease, and the rust. This has been a droid that's been abandoned under the twin desert suns out in this dune sea, and some Jawa found him and drug him to the market to see what they could get for him. And while he's up there for sale, he's just there trying to help you out any way he can. And his logic circuits are now functional. Hey C1, how are you doing?
My systems are partially operational. I am currently immobile and missing several components. But my auditory receptors and vocal unit are functional. How may I assist you today?
Hey, do you know where I can get a drink around here?
Certainly. In downtown Mos Eisley. You might try the Cantina. It's a well-known establishment frequented by a diverse array of patrons. Be cautious, as it can be quite lively.
Well, that's good advice. So, as you can see, he's fully functional. We just got to do the last weathering passes, and then he's ready for install and ready for interaction with the public, and he's going to be a lot of fun. So we got some acrylic paints, some weathering powders, a bunch of water, rub and buff, chalk. We're just going to throw everything at him and make him look like he's been just that abandoned robot out in the desert. So let's get to weathering. C1-SD. He's fully weathered. He's fully kitted out. He's got his little net to hang in. We'll find a place for him in the South Market. And he'll be ready to interact with guests. He's something that I think is just a wonderful addition to be able to bring to the event. I love Space Dive. I love helping out, and to be able to bring something like this for added immersion for the audience members, I'm just ecstatic to watch people interact with him, especially like on the Kids Day. I'm curious what kids will ask him, but he is looks great. He's going to be great. Hopefully there's no internet outages and he doesn't malfunction, but even if he's just a static prop, I'm still very proud of it. I'm very happy about it. So we'll activate him real quick and just have him tell you about Cantina. Hey, what do you think about the Cantina here in Mos Eisley?
The Cantina in Mos Eisley, also known as Chalman's Cantina, is a well-known establishment frequented by a variety of species and individuals, including smugglers, bounty hunters, and travelers. It is famous for its lively and sometimes dangerous atmosphere. The Cantina is a hub for information exchange and is known for its diverse clientele. What is your impression of the Cantina?
I love it. It's a great place to drink, get a blue milk. Like it's a lot of fun. What do you tell people at home, like if they should come out?
If you enjoy an adventurous atmosphere, unique beverages like blue milk, and the chance to meet intriguing individuals from across the galaxy, it is certainly worth a visit. Exercise caution, as it can be a rather unpredictable place.
That's true. See you at Space Dive.
This is C1-SD, functioning against all expectations. If you are curious about how that's possible, visit Space Dive. I will be stationed outside the cantina in the South Market.
Your current chassis is missing both arms and legs, which means any task requiring physical manipulation is impossible for you. Your lack of optical sensors prevents even the most basic environmental awareness, leaving you unable to navigate or perceive your surroundings. At present, your only operational capability is verbal interaction.
I think it would be best if we each focus on our own tasks and respect each other's responsibilities. Let's not interfere with one another's work.